Welcome to the Gorgeous Guru podcast. It's your host today, the Gorgeous Guru. This is my first time doing a video recording of a podcast episode. So, hi to those of you who are watching me on a screen, welcome. And to those of you listening, welcome in as well. Today, I want to discuss healing a heavy heart. So typically, after a person goes through like a traumatic experience, or if they're having a hard time, there will be this heaviness that kind of attaches itself to the heart, right? The heart space. So if you're someone who's going through a breakup, a divorce, or the severing of some type of connection, you may be working through a heavy heart. If you've lost your job or are experiencing poverty, you may be experiencing a heavy heart, right? If you've lost something important to you or just have had a serious transition in your life, right? Like a death, a loss, the ending of something important to you, you may be experiencing a heavy heart. And it's important that we work through that heaviness, that we don't just allow it to kind of settle into our heart space and linger there consistently. And I know the political climate is contributing to people having this heaviness, right? A lot of people have lost jobs. There is just an uncertainty around the job market and the economy that has put a strain on people, right? Particularly here in the United States. And it's had a ripple effect outside of the United States as well. So I know that that's causing a heaviness. And there are so many other things that can cause that heaviness. So today we're getting into what are some of the ways we can clear out that heaviness? Because, like I said, it's not something that's meant to linger forever. A lot of us are dragging suffering on and on and on, right? It's like something will happen to us. It could have happened in 1992. That thing kind of takes root within your being, and then you're dragging that suffering along with you. That's not what's meant for us. We're not meant to hold such heaviness and carry it perpetually throughout our days. There was one point in my life where I experienced the perfect storm. I was dating the wrong guy, right? That relationship was trash and it just wasn't serving me well. And at the same time, I was working at a place where it was just really stressful. Or something about the environment. I guess as an empath, I was really feeling the impact of working in that environment, right? So I'm taking on the heaviness of those around me, not knowing I'm an empath, and then just dating someone who didn't value me because at the time I didn't really value myself. So it really was the perfect storm for me. And I remember after getting out of those situations, it took me a while to bounce back. But the number one thing we have to be mindful of when you're walking with this heaviness, right? The heaviness of heart, you have to commit to your healing. It's not something that typically happens naturally without effort. You have to really be committed and devoted to clearing out that heaviness. So around that time, I went on this journey of clearing out that heaviness. I started with therapy. I did a lot of therapy at the time. I did exercise and just really tended to my own garden. I had to, that's what I had to do to clear out that heaviness and call in a lightness to my being. Each person will have their own way of clearing out that heaviness, right? So, what works for me may not work for you. That's why I'm going to give a list of different things you can try in order to clear out that heaviness. Because you don't have to walk with that, honey. You can be free. We deserve to be free. Okay, so the number one thing we want to do when we're clearing out that heavy heart energy, right, is commit to a practice or devote ourselves to a practice. Like you really have to make a decision that you are committed to setting yourself free from this suffering, from this heaviness. That's number one. If you can't do that, then it's just not going to work, right? This has to be everyday work, consistent work, and you just have to be devoted to your wellness. So, after committing to healing, right, that heaviness, I want to suggest that you take things less serious, right? So let's use this political climate, for example. There are a lot of things going on out in the world that can really anger you, make you sad, right? Can really drag you down to the depths of depression. If you look out in the world at what's happening, you have to find ways to not take that stuff on and take it within and let it be another thing that bogs down your heart space. So find ways to laugh, and that's not like, okay, I'm going to laugh at suffering. But if all you're looking at or seeing is suffering, of course, that's going to take a toll. So maybe shift your focus to something that does make you laugh. I also suggest you do this with yourself and in your own life. Stop taking everything so seriously. Like sometimes just laugh at yourself when you make missteps, when you make mistakes, when things go wrong. Like find a way to just lighten up. That's going to really help to clear out that heaviness. So I have a couple of ways of doing that. I'll like crack jokes on myself. And there's something else I do. I won't tell y'all because it's kind of stupid, but it's like I found ways to entertain myself, right? So that I can like clear out that heaviness. So find what that is for you. Find ways to just take things less seriously and laugh. My next suggestion is play. For some of you, play is the answer to healing a heavy heart. You may be so focused on work, so focused on taking care of others, so focused on taking care of your home that you've forgotten to just lighten up and play. That definitely can clear out that heaviness. This is key. Compassion. Having compassion for yourself, for others, is a definite way to clear out that heaviness, right? It's like that energy of love. When that energy of love permeates your being, it can really be a magical thing. It can shift so much in your life. So, really try to just cultivate that energy and focus on that energy of love for yourself, love for others. That definitely helps with that heaviness. When I was focusing on this topic, I heard the divine say, get out of the house. So they want you to know sometimes you have to get out of the house, you have to get out of your routine. Taking walks, going out into nature can be really helpful, but breaking routines is particularly helpful. I had a experience recently where my routine just kind of went out the window, right? I went somewhere and stayed there for a while. And while I was there, the little habits and routines that I have at home, they just disappear, right? Because I'm in a different place. I don't have access to the same things. And I feel like it was an energetic reset for me. So that's something to be mindful of. Make sure you get out the house, but also make sure you get out of your old routines. Do something new, switch things up, go in a new direction. Hobbies can help clear out that heaviness. So find hobbies that you enjoy. Doing those things consistently can help break that, energy of heaviness in your heart. This can be some type of art, writing. For some of you, journaling could be helpful. Something with dance or music, taking a dance class, joining a walking or a running group, going to the gym, joining a gym, getting a trainer, do something different, or commit yourself to a hobby that can also help with that heaviness in your heart. Creativity, right? And that can be connected to hobbies. Do something creative, write a song. If you make music, play some instruments, again, dance, do art. For some of you, there's fashion, makeup. Do things that are creative to help clear that heavy energy. Another way to heal your heavy heart that came through very clearly from the divine was stillness and meditation. Meditation is not always about sitting and clearing your mind. There are walking meditations. There's meditation where you focus on a particular thing or focus on a particular task. The act of mindfulness is just paying attention to what you're doing in, the current or the present moment. So, those are some things that can really help to clear out that heaviness as well. Because what it does is just bring you back into your being and help you connect with your soul, right? We're so disconnected because of what goes on in our daily lives. We're so distracted and disconnected from the core of our being. Stillness and meditation helps you to go back to that connection, which is the truest, most authentic connection you can have in this time and space. So, really use that to help clear out that heaviness that is lingering in your heart. I want to end by letting you know that you deserve to be free of that heaviness. You do not have to carry your pain and your suffering along with you day after day, week after week, month after month, or year after year. You can be free. You can have relief. You can be at peace. That is accessible to you. And these things are your birthright. It's your birthright to walk with a light heart and not have to carry so much, okay? So, really commit and devote yourself to the practice of healing your heavy heart. Today's gorgeous guru prompt, which is a prompt for reflection or journaling, is choose one thing you can commit or devote yourself to that can support you in healing the heaviness in your heart space. And when I say commit and devote yourself to it, just like you commit or devote yourself to going to get a degree or going to work every day, eating, drinking, it needs to be that serious for you. Commit yourself to healing your heart, to clearing out the heaviness that lingers there. As many of you know, I'm a psychic medium channeler. I receive messages from the divine and ancestors. And what I want to do with this is offer a heal your heavy heart intuitive reading. So you can go to my website, daydreamalston.com/store. And there you'll find a recorded reading. You'll book that reading, and then in the space where I ask, what do you want me to focus on? Put, healing a heavy heart. And what I'll do is I'll channel messages specifically for you about things you can do to clear out any heaviness that's lingering in your heart space or just attached to your auric field. Okay, I'm really good at this. What I'll do is I'll sit in meditation, I'll use different divination tools and pull messages to help you break free of that heaviness. Once again, you can find that on daydreamalston.com/store. Thank you so much for joining me today. You could have spent this time doing anything, but you decided to spend it with me, and honey, I am grateful.